Good day. This is a post-cabinet briefing for cabinet meeting held Wednesday, September 1st, 2010. Minister of Education and Information, the Honorable Nigel Ktts, presented to the Cabinet of Ministers a newly developed program for the prevention and reduction of the incidence of violence in our schools. Government believes that part of the solution for the incidence of violence and crime in the wider community demands a long-term approach that targets our youth in both our primary and secondary schools. With the assistance of the ministry's newly recruited research psychologist, Dr. Tricia Esdale, a school violence prevention guide has been developed and was presented to the Cabinet for approval. Some of the broad objectives of the program are: 1. To evaluate youth violence in schools; 2. To develop and conduct analyses of existing policies and practice for the development of innovative violence prevention programs; 3. To develop a school-based intervention program to meet the needs of students who exhibit early signs of tendency towards violence and antisocial behavior; and 4thly, to conduct ongoing training for teachers and guidance counselors to diagnose and treat symptoms of antisocial behavior, among many other objectives. The ministry's new research psychologist will lead in the implementation of the system-wide violence prevention program and oversee the ongoing work of our network of guidance counselors. Dr. Tricia Esdale will work alongside other senior persons in the Ministry of Education so as to help ensure full success of this critically important and timely program of violence prevention and reduction. As of the upcoming school term, the Beach Allen Primary School, our largest primary school, will have its own guidance counselor who is charged with systematically implementing our new program very early in the term. This school needs immediate support, and we are providing it right from the start. In due course, it is hoped that all of our large primary schools will have their own guidance counselor, which will mean more focused intervention on our vulnerable students. Additionally, the Ministry of Education is launching an anger management workshop for teachers on September 13th, 2010. This again is a very critical program and is expected to yield long-term benefits for the fight against violence and crime in our federation. Minister with responsibility for social development, the Honorable Marcella Liebert, and the Honorable Minister of Education collaborated to present to the Cabinet recommendations for the extension of the duties of probation officers to cover responsibilities for school attendance officers. As a result of Cabinet's approval, the 5 probation officers situated in the Ministry of Social Development will now additionally function as school attendance officers, and their work will be guided by the Education Act of 2005. In the discharge of their duties as school attendance officers, the probation officers are required to report to the Chief Education Officer, as do other school attendance officers. This new development now brings the number of school attendance officers to 7, thereby providing better coverage for and oversight of matters related to proper attendance of students at school. School attendance officers are expected to quickly identify students whose attendance at school is unsatisfactory and to make intervention to arrest the trend. This is another effort by the government to prevent undereducation and thus antisocial behavior within our nation's youth population. Given government's commitment to further promote the development of information and communications technology in St. Kitts and Nevis through providing improved access to the computing technology for students, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Denzil Douglas and Minister of Technology, the Honorable Glenn Phillip, made a presentation to the Cabinet on the so-called one-to-one laptop project. The ministers informed that a state-of-the-art computer has been finally selected as the device of choice for the project. Sample computers of the kind have been ordered, and the ministers have promised that during their visits to school this coming independence season, they would wish to present these samples to the various schools, that is, the secondary schools. In the meantime, however, the manufacturer of the chosen computer has been asked to produce a customized version of the device that uses anti-theft, GPS technology, and other security features. The government is concerned about possible theft of the computers from the students and has insisted that these security features be embedded in the hardware of these computer systems to reduce that possibility. Other concerns include proper care and maintenance of the computer systems, and a comprehensive policy is being elaborated to address these issues. The one-to-one laptop project will be rolled out in phases, given the approximately 6,500 computers that have to be custom-made to meet our specific objectives. November 2010 has been identified as the date for the first phase implementation, with 2 other phases early in the new year 2011. The phasing of the project provides a better opportunity to ensure that proper platforms and procedures are developed to make the project highly successful. Cabinet has approved the pursuit of an open skies agreement between the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the government of the United States of America. Open skies is an international policy concept which promotes the liberalization of rules and regulations for the international aviation industry, particularly commercial aviation, thereby opening up a free market for the airline industry. The Open Skies policy gives effect to the Convention on the International Civil Aviation signed in Chicago in 1944. Minister of Tourism and International Transport, the Honorable Richard Skerritt, in bringing this important matter before the Cabinet, explained that the intended outcome of achieving an open skies agreement with the USA is to derive mutual benefit for the 2 countries, particularly during this period of global economic downturn. He specifically advised that a successful agreement, if reached, would help to establish rules to facilitate growth of an efficient market-based aviation system, enhancing potential for business, investment, exports, and tourism, and the strengthening of bilateral ties between the 2 countries. Finally, Cabinet approved 2 applications for restaurant licenses. Cabinet also approved the granting of tax concessions to 3 small local businesses operating in the fields of clothing design, digital photography, and catering. These approvals have been granted in line with government's policy of continued empowerment of local entrepreneurs and of providing employment for its citizens at every opportunity. This brings to an end the post-Cabinet briefing for the Cabinet meeting held Wednesday, September 1st, 2010. I thank you.